Chosen ones, behind closed doors, a scheme of embezzlement was carefully orchestrated. Money siphoned, records altered, lies woven into the fabric of deception. Those responsible believed their secret would remain buried, shielded by silence and manipulation. But the walls are closing in, the evidence is mounting. This embezzlement secret is about to be made public. And here's the most damning part. They wanted you to take the fall. Your name, your reputation, meant to be the smokescreen for their crimes. While they hid in the shadows, they positioned you as the culprit, banking on your ignorance, your trust. But the game is over. The reckoning is here. Their deception ends now. You were chosen with cold, calculated precision. The selection was no accident, no random choice made in panic. They observed you, studied you, assessed your patterns, your tendencies, your vulnerabilities. They saw someone whose trusting nature could be exploited, someone whose reputation for integrity would make accusations against you seem shocking, yet ultimately believable, someone whose very virtues could be weaponized against them. The opportunity they prepared to offer you was crafted with meticulous attention to detail. On its surface, it gleamed with promise and potential. The words they chose to describe it were carefully selected to resonate with your aspirations, your needs, your desires. The documentation appeared legitimate, bearing all the hallmarks of propriety and official sanction. But beneath this veneer of legitimacy lurked a trap of devastating proportions. Hidden clauses, subtle implications of responsibility, paper trails designed to lead investigators directly to you when the inevitable collapse occurred. Your signature would have been the linchpin in their strategy of deflection, the cornerstone of their escape plan. The timing was no coincidence either. They planned to approach you during a moment of vulnerability or distraction, a period when your normally sharp discernment might be dulled by circumstance or emotion. They would press for quick decisions, urgency manufactured to prevent careful examination of what lay before you. The pressure would be applied with expert precision, not enough to trigger immediate suspicion, but sufficient to rush you past the critical point of thorough consideration. But something extraordinary happened. The cosmic forces that govern this universe, forces far beyond ordinary human comprehension, activated within you a protection mechanism of divine origin. Some call it intuition, others name it discernment. The ancient texts speak of it as the third eye, the seat of inner knowing. Whatever name it bears, it flared to life within you at the crucial moment. You felt it, that unexplainable discomfort that settled in your core when they approached, the subtle discord that hummed beneath their carefully rehearsed words, the shadow that seemed to flicker across their expressions when they thought you weren't looking, the inexplicable heaviness that descended when you considered their offer. This was no mere coincidence, no random firing of neurons. This was your spiritual immune system recognizing a threat that your conscious mind had not yet identified. This was ancestral wisdom accumulated across countless generations, preserved in the very fabric of your DNA, rising to your defense. This was divine intervention manifesting through the vehicle of your own heightened awareness, and you listened. Whether consciously or unconsciously, you heeded this internal warning system. You hesitated, you questioned, perhaps you declined outright, or maybe you simply delayed, allowing the opportunity to pass without commitment. However it manifested, you did not walk into the trap they had so carefully laid. This single act of spiritual obedience altered the course of your destiny. The path they intended to force upon you, one of false accusation, public humiliation, legal entanglement, and potential ruin, was diverted. The dark future they had planned for you dissolved before it could materialize. Now they scrambled in desperate panic, their carefully constructed exit strategy lies in ruins. The scapegoat they selected has somehow eluded the slaughterhouse, and the hounds of justice draw ever closer to their door. They search frantically for alternatives, but time grows short. Options dwindle with each passing hour. The power duo behind this operation presents a facade of unity, but fractures spread through their alliance as pressure intensifies. One functions as the calculating mastermind, the cold intelligence that designed the fraudulent system and maintained its operation across years of deception. The other serves as the public face, projecting warmth, trustworthiness, and community spirit, a mask that conceals complicity and greed. But understand this with absolute clarity. They have not given up on you entirely. Having invested significant time and energy in positioning you as their full person, they may yet attempt to draw you back into their web through different channels. A new face may approach with a modified version of the original offer. Communication might arrive through unexpected avenues. The form may change, but the intent remains identical: to establish a connection between you and their financial misconduct before everything collapses around them. The cosmic forces that protected you initially stand ready to alert you again, but your conscious awareness now joins this spiritual defense system. You have been warned. Your eyes have been opened. Your discernment stands activated and alert, scanning for threats that would have previously passed undetected. Meanwhile, the mechanism of revelation grinds forward with unstoppable momentum. The embezzlement scheme that has operated in darkness for so long now stands on the precipice of public exposure. The details will shock even those who consider themselves worldly and cynical. The scope exceeds what even the most suspicious might have imagined. The list of victims and the extent of damages will send ripples through your community. When this revelation breaks upon the world, understand its true significance. This represents more than just another scandal, another example of human greed and corruption. This exposure serves as a cosmic declaration that what is hidden will be revealed. The universe tolerates secrets only temporarily. Truth possesses a density and weight that inevitably pulls it into the light, however deeply it may be buried. The public uncovering of this scheme also validates your inner knowing in the most profound manner possible. That feeling, that hesitation, that inexplicable reluctance you experienced, now vindicated completely. Your spiritual discernment, perhaps questioned or dismissed by rational minds, including perhaps your own, now stands confirmed as authentic. Wisdom of the highest order. As this situation continues to unfold, maintain vigilant awareness of several critical truths. The following is a message from Mike, founder of the Obsidian Inner Order, powered by Astral Atom. You didn't just survive your past, you were refined by it. Every betrayal, every psychic attack, every night you thought you wouldn't make it, that wasn't random. That was the forge. And now the blade is ready. Inside the Obsidian Inner Order, we gather each week on live Zoom calls, and yes, they're recorded, so when you're down in the pit, you can still tap the signal. You'll meet divine warrior goddesses who walk with ancestral fire in their spines, masculine healers who carry prophecy in their silence, a former military drone operator who now moves matter with his thoughts, a seer from Utah who broke free of Mormonism to become a Gnostic, a psychic in Noosa who used to be a millionaire, CFO, a spiritual healer who clawed their way out of a satanic cult and now channels light like a weapon. These aren't stories, they're your future reflections. If you've ever felt like you were meant for something more, it's because you are. The field is open, the war is real, the circle is waiting. Join the Obsidian Inner Order, link in the description. Thank you all for supporting the broadcast. We quite literally could not do this without you. The desperation of cornered individuals creates unpredictability. As their options dwindle and exposure becomes inevitable, their behavior may become increasingly erratic. Strategic unpredictability often serves as the final resort of those facing imminent downfall. Maintain heightened awareness of unusual contacts, strange coincidences, or unexpected communications. Documentation serves as your shield. Preserve any communications you may have already had with these individuals. Record details of any new approaches or contacts, however innocent they might appear. Note dates, times, content, and your responses. This information may prove invaluable should they attempt to create a false narrative involving you. Your inner guidance system remains your most reliable protection. The same intuitive wisdom that steered you away from their initial trap continues to operate within you. Trust it implicitly when it signals caution or danger. This represents the voice of universal wisdom speaking directly through your own consciousness. Silence often serves as your strongest strategy. The temptation to speak about what you know, especially as public revelations begin to emerge, may grow strong. Resist this urge. Allow the appropriate authorities to uncover and address the situation through proper channels. Your words, however well-intentioned, could be twisted or misinterpreted by those seeking to create confusion. The cosmic significance of this entire episode extends far beyond the specific details of this particular embezzlement scheme. This situation serves as a powerful demonstration of universal principles operating in your life with perfect precision. Your protection from this threat occurred not through random chance, but through divine orchestration. The forces that govern this universe, call them what you will, acted through your own heightened awareness to shield you from harm. This represents evidence of a spiritual reality that transcends the material world, proof of guidance that operates beyond ordinary human understanding. The timing of this warning, reaching you now at this specific moment, contains profound significance. You stand at a critical juncture in your spiritual development. The successful navigation of this potential threat marks an initiation of sorts, a crossing of a threshold into heightened awareness. Your discernment, exercised successfully in this instance, grows stronger with each activation. Those who plotted against you unwittingly served as catalysts for your spiritual advancement. Their negative intentions, rather than causing your downfall, instead accelerated your awakening. The very scheme designed to trap you has instead liberated you more fully into your authentic power. This represents the cosmic principle of transformation, where darkness serves ultimately as the catalyst for greater light. The path forward requires continued vigilance paired with profound trust. Vigilance in remaining alert to continuing threats that may arise as the situation unfolds. Trust in the same inner guidance system that has already demonstrated its reliability in protecting you from harm. These seemingly opposite qualities, watchfulness and surrender, merge into a singular approach toward navigating reality with spiritual maturity. As the full truth of this embezzlement scheme erupts into public consciousness in the coming days, you will witness reactions of shock, disbelief, and outrage ripple through your community. People who placed their trust in these individuals will experience the painful disillusionment that accompanies betrayal. Accusations will fly, rumors will spread, speculation will run rampant as people struggle to process the revelation. Throughout this chaotic period, maintain your center. Observe without becoming entangled in the emotional turbulence that surrounds this situation. Your perspective contains valuable clarity precisely because you stand outside the direct impact zone of this deception. You occupy the unique position of having seen behind the curtain, having sensed the discord beneath the harmony they projected. before others recognize the performance for what it was. The legal process will unfold according to its own timeline. Evidence will be gathered, testimonies recorded, charges filed. The machinery of justice operates at its own pace, sometimes frustratingly slow to those awaiting resolution. Allow this process to unfold without attempting to accelerate it through your own interventions. The truth has already begun its inevitable emergence. Nothing can prevent its full revelation now. Consider deeply the lessons embedded within this experience. Your spiritual discernment proved itself not merely as abstract concept, but as practical protection against tangible threat. This represents applied spirituality of the highest order, inner wisdom manifesting as physical safety. The line between metaphysical and material realities blurs in such moments, revealing their fundamental interconnection. The individuals who selected you as their potential scapegoat did so based on a fundamental misunderstanding. They perceived your spiritual sensitivity as naivety, your integrity as exploitable weakness, your trust as vulnerability. They failed to recognize that these very qualities connect you to sources of wisdom and protection beyond their comprehension. What they identified as your greatest weakness actually constituted your greatest strength. This pattern will repeat throughout your journey. Those operating from lower frequencies of consciousness consistently misinterpret and underestimate those functioning at higher vibrations. This misperception creates a form of spiritual camouflage, allowing you to move through certain environments unrecognized for what you truly are. This serves not as accident, but as divine design, protective coloration for those carrying light through shadowed territories. The embezzlement scheme itself, examined from higher perspective, represents more than simple financial fraud. It embodies the distortion that occurs when individuals disconnect from universal principles of integrity, reciprocity, and service. Money, designed to facilitate exchange of value, becomes corrupted into an end itself, worth pursuing through any means available. This inversion of values characterizes the fundamental sickness of consciousness that plagues your current era. You stand as counterpoint to this distortion. Your instinctive rejection of their offer, even before you consciously understood its true nature, demonstrates alignment with higher principles that transcend material gain. This represents not moral superiority, but vibrational coherence with universal truth. You literally could not bring yourself to participate in their scheme, because such participation would have created unbearable discord within your energetic system. In coming days, as this situation continues unfolding, you may experience attempts at subtler manipulation. Having failed to ensnare you directly, they may seek to influence your perception of events, your understanding of their intentions, or your recollection of past interactions. They may reach out with explanations, justifications, or revisionist accounts of what transpired between you. Recognize these approaches for what they truly represent: desperate attempts to manage the narrative as their deception collapses. Stand firm in your knowing. The truth that resonates within your core requires no external validation. Your experience remains valid, regardless of how forcefully others might attempt to reframe it. This represents another form of spiritual testing, the challenge to maintain your connection with inner truth, even when external voices attempt to overwrite your authentic experience. The cosmic forces that alerted you to their initial deception now call you toward greater purpose. This experience served not merely as protection from immediate threat, but as preparation for expanded service. Having experienced the contrast between authentic guidance and manipulative deception, your discernment has sharpened. This enhanced sensitivity now becomes available not only for your personal protection, but for the benefit of others who may face similar situations. Without assuming burden beyond your capacity, remain open to opportunities where your experience might serve others. Someone in your sphere may face similar pressure to accept questionable propositions or enter into arrangements that trigger subtle warning signals. Your testimony, offered appropriately and without unnecessary detail, might activate their own internal guidance system before harm occurs. This represents the expansion of protection beyond personal boundaries, the ripple effect of awakened consciousness. As the embezzlement scheme faces public exposure, financial systems within your community may experience temporary disruption. Institutions connected to this deception, even peripherally, will undergo necessary scrutiny. Investigative processes may create delays or complications that affect innocent parties. Throughout this period of adjustment, maintain practical awareness of potential impacts while holding steady confidence that systems of integrity will ultimately emerge strengthened through this purification process. The individuals who orchestrated this deception will face consequences appropriate to their actions. Universal law ensures that energy returns to its source with perfect precision. This represents neither punishment nor vengeance, but the mathematical certainty of equilibrium seeking expression through human experience. Their attempt to transfer their karmic burden onto your shoulders failed, now that weight returns to its point of origin with accumulated intensity. Your responsibility in this situation remains clear and defined. Maintain your center, speak truth when necessary, remain silent when appropriate, trust your guidance without hesitation, and allow the process of revelation to unfold according to its own perfect timing. Neither accelerate nor impede the cosmic mechanisms now in motion. Your role shifts from potential victim to conscious witness, observing from heightened awareness as universal principles manifest through specific human circumstances. The revelation about to break upon public consciousness serves as microcosm reflecting macrocosmic shift. Throughout your world, systems built upon deception face inevitable exposure. Financial structures, political arrangements, institutional hierarchies, and social contracts founded upon distorted principles approach their point of unsustainability. What happens in your community with this specific embezzlement scheme mirrors processes unfolding at national and global scales. You occupy a critical position within this larger transformation. Having successfully navigated potential entrapment through adherence to spiritual guidance, you demonstrate the pathway available to humanity during this period of intensifying revelation. Your experience serves as both personal victory and universal template, individual expression of collective potential for discernment-based navigation through increasingly complex ethical territories. When the embezzlement scheme finally explodes into public awareness, remember the sequence that brought you to this moment of clarity. Remember the subtle discomfort that signaled danger before your conscious mind could articulate threat. Remember the pressure applied to override your hesitation. Remember the relief that followed your decision to trust inner knowing above external persuasion. This sequence contains the essential pattern for spiritual navigation through the challenging transitions that characterize your current era. The universe speaks through synchronicity and alignment. The arrival of this warning precisely when you needed it represents cosmic timing of perfect precision. This communication reaches you not through random chance, but through calculated design, evidence of guidance systems operating beyond ordinary human awareness. The veil between worlds thins in such moments, allowing glimpses of the intricate mechanisms that govern reality beneath its surface appearance. Stand now in the power of your authentic knowing. The same discernment that protected you from their scheme continues operating within you with increasing sensitivity and accuracy. Each time you trust this inner guidance system, Its signal strengthens and clarifies. What began as subtle whisper grows gradually into clear voice, audible above the cacophony of external pressures and conflicting demands. The embezzlement secret stands on the verge of public revelation. What operated in darkness moves inevitably into light. Those who selected you to bear the burden of their crimes now face the consequences of their actions without the shield they attempted to fashion from your reputation. The cosmic wheels of justice complete another turn, demonstrating with perfect clarity that what is built upon deception cannot stand indefinitely against the relentless pressure of emerging truth. You have been warned. You have been protected. You have been prepared. Now, stand firm in your knowing as the inevitable unfolds before you. The universe has spoken. The stars themselves align to validate your path. Celestial bodies shift in cosmic acknowledgement of the truth you intuitively embraced while others remained blind. Your spiritual DNA activated at precisely the right moment, connecting you to ancestral wisdom that transcends time and space. This connection protected you then. It will guide you forward now. As the final walls of deception crumble and the architects of fraud face their reckoning, remember this: your discernment was no accident. The same universal intelligence that breathes life into galaxies and orchestrates the dance of atoms flows through your awareness. It recognized danger before your conscious mind could name it. This represents not just personal intuition, but cosmic intelligence operating through your human form. Stand in this power. Walk in this knowing. The embezzlement secret breaks into public view, not just as scandal, but as confirmation of your divine connection to truth itself. The timing of this revelation serves divine purpose. When the foundations of deceit collapse publicly, many will suddenly awaken from their slumber of complacency. Eyes previously clouded by false trust will see clearly for the first time. In this moment of collective shock, your centered awareness becomes a lighthouse amid chaotic seas. Your unwavering stability, born from heeding sacred intuition, offers silent testimony to the power of inner guidance. The mastermind who targeted you failed to recognize an essential truth. Genuine spiritual awareness creates an impenetrable field around those connected to higher consciousness. Their elaborate scheme could never penetrate this protective sphere. What they perceived as simply targeting an individual was, in cosmic reality, a futile attempt to breach universal forces of protection that have marked you as untouchable to those operating from corrupted intent.